Hello to you, and thanks for joining us to a series New Life. Hello, Rav Leitman, and with us is Nitza Mazoz, who's in the study with us. We're trying to understand our life and how to make our life new, truly new. So they'll be good, so they won't be more or less, they won't be gray, and we won't get along. We'll go through a new pose. And from these things that we're talking about, we understand that the things that these relationships that we have between us and the people around us, it's the heart of our life, and therefore here we're talking about how we can upgrade this connection and how we can go step after step, not to jump too high, so that everyone will be able to be with us and understand what we're doing and implement it in our daily life. And you're with us, and hopefully there are also some interesting things that you'll be able to implement in life. Rav Leitman, in the previous discussions, we talked about the fact that in the first stage of this development of a good relationship between a couple is to recognize and be acquainted with the nature of man and woman, and you gave us even a couple workshops and how they do this a sterile way. We present the nature of man and the nature of woman, and now we want to go one step forward. We're talking about the fact that between a couple, there can be a very interesting state in which they build between them. They build some triangle and they create some special point that you call the point of connection between them. And we thought about this, and we also received a lot of feedbacks from people that talked about the building of this model of this point of connection, which is revolutionary and breaking through in the fact that it is actually allowing for every two people who are already in a relationship, they're already a couple, by building some third point above the both of them, some triangle like this. By doing this, it's as if you invented some ultimate formula for every two people to implement. Because in this process that you draw, and I want to focus on this because this is very interesting, and there are no such things, you're actually saying that you have some vessel, and it doesn't matter who the woman is and who the man is. It doesn't matter if they're suitable to each other or not suitable, understand each other or don't understand each other. You're building some process here in which these two here can create some third point here. You called it a point of connection. And by doing this, live in a new form of connection. This is what we want to talk about today. Because there's a potential here that when we talk between us, and then feedback that we receive for this idea, there's something here that because it's higher from the man and the woman, or the specific man and woman that are here, it's something completely perfect, and it could be perfect. Just for example, let's say there's a couple that went through all these processes. They're about to get divorced already. And we coming now to this model of building this third point can also help them. Because you didn't look so much at the current state of their relationship, rather you went to another place. And Nitza, drive us in with questions, and let's see how we can work with details here, because the potential is huge for such a thing. Before that, I said a simple principle. Okay. That the connection is built from mutual consent, conceding. And the second was that love will cover all transgressions. In this way we advance. If there is truly a desire, not as strong, but anyhow, some good desire for both of them to come to happy life. They suffered enough, they understood that they're incapable of doing alone anything, and then they're willing to hear the method. More than to hear, they don't need anything, because our method is built in a way that a person enters an environment, to an atmosphere, in which it slowly changes him without efforts on his behalf. And in this, we need to see each time, are we not running from the mean? The mean can be the group, other young couples together, not necessarily young. I see people here on the verge of divorce. He's about to lose in a big way. He's giving a last chance. He heard that your method is unique and it's revolutionary, and he's giving it a chance. I'm telling you, it's a real last chance. Yeah, and so first of all, several couples together that in the mutual influence it helps. You said that they have a certain weekly gathering, and then at the rest time directed work at home. And we also talked about the fact that the group, the couple, can also be at home, in which each and every one will be an environment for that. Because we understand that the plurality of the minority of plurality is two. We have to understand that they will reach a state in which they'll feel each other and discernments and the properties of each other and the mutual attributes. They will already be enough qualified from talking through these puppets or from a direct way to each other in such a way that they will truly be in a mutual trying and strengthening and support mutually and mutual giving up. They'll come to a state in which truly a connection will be built between them. Now you're asking, how do we build it? Truly. But I want Nitsa to open this question a little bit because we really want to develop this model of building the point of connection. Like a triangle. But first of all, we need the point itself to be discerned. Everything that we need for this model. Because you talked about this a little bit, but it sounds like a great potential. So we want on this meeting to talk about it. So first of all, what is it called that we are connected in that same peak of the triangle, of this pyramid? It's not called that like we're canceling each other and we're not swallowing each other. Rather, completing each other, supporting each other to the point that we don't feel this relationship between us. Where here is each and every one. As if we're mutually swallowed in each other. In which all that is important and main and good for her will be important and good and important to her because it's good and important to her. And on the contrary, on the opposite, everything that's good and important and it's the essence for me will be good and the essence and important for me, for her. And by doing this also will be good and important in essence for me. This picture, I want this discussion to continue our previous discussion. How are they led? Slowly? No. Here Rav is describing the idea of the end of a thought, of an action isn't a thought, the initial thought. First of all, we need to define that peak, or else we'll lose the north. Yeah, because we need to find that destination. So I want here first that we continue our previous discussion with puppet and recognizing nature. Start from the point of zero. What's the nature of man? What's the nature of woman? I don't want this to be disconnected from that model, but that would be the first step in this development of this triangle. That this will be the first step of drawing of this couple into this triangle. We already recognized this nature, and now we want to give them a way to really taste from the good of our unique method. I'll tell you, the truth is that there are two methods. Later we'll talk about when to use one and when to use the other. The first method says like this. You grasped this point of the peak of the pyramid? You grasped? You caught it together? You can describe it this way? There's a need for a breath. You can grab it, you can accept, receive it. Now from this point on, continue to live without going down. Don't take into account anything that you have, she has, him, no matter what. All the time, just hold on to you and her. Hold yourselves in that point of connection. And why? Because wherever a person wants to come, that's actually where he goes to. He awakens the forces of nature in him and in the surroundings that operate on him this way and bring him to it. I want to be in this, I will be in this. Under the condition that I persistently describe myself as being in this truly. In actuality, I relate to myself and to the her and to the nature and to the whole world, always from that upper point. This is one method. The second method is that we once again go down to the puppet and the male puppet and the female puppet, and we start operating here with all sorts of exercises. Who's conceding to who and what for and why. Let's advance a little bit towards each other in a gradual form. Yes? It's a more difficult method. The second one, yes, certainly. Because I am constantly operating on behalf of my place where I am. And there is here changes in states, moods, in me and in others. There are many problems. And therefore, you can use it under the condition that we exist in a strong environment. Also, the first method demands the environment strengthening support, but not to the point like the first one. So let's develop the first one. If it's easier, people today, they're not looking to difficulties. This method. The easy method is like this. We put for ourselves some pink dream. I want us to dress in this couple from our previous discussion. We already went through all these things. So for what for? No. I want us to build now this method of building the point of connection for people who are truly in the beginning of the. We finished the series of our previous discussions by learning the nature of man and the nature of woman. Now we want, from those 2 points, me and her, to build this third point, the harmony, the upper harmony. This is the situation, exactly. This is what we want to come to. Let's build it. Let's draw it. It's the same thing like we did then. We had demands from each other. What do you want? What do I want from you? How can we complete each other? When will we be happy? Same thing. Only in a different way. We're a little bit talking about this point. In this point, we each complete each other. We each keep this and that. We both feel that we simply don't exist. We find there in this point something that is mutual, that is shared, which is called the me that is corrected, the corrected me. And the same thing, her that's corrected, the corrected her. And when we're talking about from this point, in our fantasy, of course, in our fantasy, let's now, from this moment onwards, stop ourselves. What does it mean? We'll stop ourselves, meaning we don't allow ourselves to go down from that point. We're constantly relating to each other as if we're there. Imagine to yourself that you are completely for your wife and she is completely for you. that all that you do and want and all that truly is aimed towards her, and she does the same thing towards you. But I don't. But I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not all towards for her. We did an exercise in our imagination to describe. Also, I didn't. I'm not yet to the end, except receiving what exactly we're describing here. We are imagining a couple that became like one, like a man and a woman became one body. We're describing it in words. Yes, in words too, of course. Yes, you're sitting at home and you're imagining such a thing. You sat at home and you play with those puppets, and now you can describe this thing. You know what? Describe it first of all on the doll, so it'll be easier for you if it's still important. How these dolls come to, I don't know how to call this, to one. Bisexual, by type, one. How these two monkeys complete each other. These two bodies, I'm sorry, these two bodies complete each other. How they complete. Imagine, fantasize what a happy life is. Okay, and then for each other, we describe this? Or with the dolls first, and then to each other. Okay, and then what? That's it. Once you described it in the dolls, already there's nothing else to do. Now you need to do this between you. This description of the happy life is the point of connection. What's the connection? What do you want to reach? I don't know. I don't understand. You don't understand that you want to come to a happy life? I understand. That happy life is only in connection? What? It's possible. Now you have a bitter life. Why? Because connection between us is not, so what, so much. So if there was a connection, something ideal, something like a dream, then it would be good. Yes. Okay. This is the point. So let's us now, we'll draw a picture. What is called a good connection on her behalf and on my behalf. And let's us see how much we need to concede to each other in order to reach that one picture. In order to come to that one picture, what is it called to be one? Now to concede now? We're doing this as if. We're doing as if we're doing this point we have to draw. That's okay, so there's no problem. This is all clear. To draw what this wholeness is. No, this is perfection. It's not simple. Okay, but there's desires, passions, actions, everything. Yeah, but it's in a dream, like it's called. No, but to detail this on a page, to do this in a way that it'll be realistic, so you know exactly before what things you're standing before and what both of you are working or standing before. It's not simple. What demands and complaints she has towards me and what I have towards her, there's already no dream. I thought it was something good before. No, it's good, certainly. But good is the point itself. But at this point in which you're trying to scrutinize what's good for her, what she needs, what she wants, and at that point she sees me or not. She says, in this point, I and my husband, I don't see you. No, you're not suitable to be there. I didn't understand. Huh? And there could be such a state? Yes, certainly. There could be a state like this. That I don't believe, I can't imagine to myself, I'm incapable of seeing you in that point of my goal. In the point in which it could be good. That's for certain. It's certain that one will feel it. So you say to her, and if I will change in 180 degrees, we'll give up on everything. We'll cover for you all the garbage with gold. Imagine to yourself what you want.
ואז היא מתארת לך את זה.
And then she describes it to you.
ואותו דבר כלפיה.
And you do the same thing towards her.
מתחילים לעשות כמו
And
במתמטיקה.
then you start to do like
איפה
math.
כאן הדבר המשותף?
Where here is the common thing? Where's the mutual
אנחנו
thing?
מסוגלים בכל זאת להגיע
In
לאיזו
which you can anyhow come to some completion.
או לפחות בצעדים הקטנים
Or at least in the small steps to come to it.
אבל חוץ מזה,
But other
אפשר
than that,
לעשות שוב, אני אומר, בדרך
we can do
הנכונה,
again, like I said, in the first way,
אתם מתארים את המצב
in which
הזה
you describe to you this state
בלי שלילה, אלא רק חיוב.
without any negation, only positive.
זה
This is more interesting. What's
יושב
this?
על הענן הוורוד,
I sit on a pink cloud
מסתכל למטה על כדור הארץ,
and look down at Earth.
ממש ככה. מה זה
Really like that.
החיים
What is it called? The life that is whole, that is perfect
כן? זהו.
as a couple.
מנקודת
Yeah.
ההרגשה הזאת,
Now, from this point of feeling and onwards,
אבל בלי
start,
לרמות כל אחד את
but
עצמו,
without,
אני ודאי,
you know,
תתחיל
without the lying to each other or cheating to each other. Start from this point to live.
זהו, ותראה
That's
על
it.
איזה
And
דברים
see
אתה צריך לוותר,
what things you need to concede and what things not.
וכמו שדיברנו, אז תבין למה
And as we spoke, then you will understand why nature created us this way.
איפה שתצטרך
That you specifically, where you're going to have to concede,
נמצא באגו שלך.
you specifically are in your ego.
אז כאילו משהו מלאכותי.
So it's like something artificial, imaginary, theatrical. I don't know, what is it exactly? If you want to rise to some degree, you must
כמו במשחק.
be similar to it, like in game, like a little child who wants to be similar to being big. It's as if we're from our problems in our life, we're distancing. Certainly, we want now to live in that whole, that complete dream, as if. What's as if? It will be a perfect state.
אנחנו מתחילים את זה, אמרנו מהשלב
We're,
הראשון.
we said from the first state,
אנחנו מתחילים
we're trying to say from which stage, either from below above or above below.
אני בן אדם מהקהל
I,
הרחב,
a person from the wide audience, I have no discernments from before. Where do I need to start?
שתי אפשרויות. מה יותר יקר?
I said there are two possibilities here. What two options? What is easier for me? The easier one for me says that we hold on to something perfect and we constantly try and try and try between us to determine this
רגע אתה מתחיל
point.
לספר לעצמך.
Where do you start telling me about this? When do you tell me about this point? When? This is something I wasn't even aware of, that there is such point of completion or connection, or even if you can think about it. But what did you think when you got married to me? About love.
מה זה אהבה?
What love and what's love?
זה כלים שישימו במקומך.
That I will wash your dishes instead of you? What is love?
טובה, אפשר כל אחד מאיתנו.
That's a good question.
כל אחד
Each of us can. No, it's not each of us. No one understands each and everyone.
מה את מתארת?
What are you describing to yourself? What do you, as the most
בין בני אדם.
closest thing between people in couples? The closest thing between people from the places I am is good friendship, is sharing.
חברות יש לך
Friendship is not family. Friendships, you have a girlfriend, I have a friend.
זה מה שאני מסוגלת לדמיין, חברות, שיתוף.
This is what I'm able to imagine. Friendship, sharing, there'll be attraction, interest. What attraction? Sexual, there is. What interest is there? Go out and have fun. There is. This is called family. That's what holds together the connection in the beginning. There's a lot of sharing.
מתחתנים, חבל להתחתן.
If they get married, then it's too bad that they get married. They're going to get divorced if that's all they have. There must be a desire to adhere.
זאת אומרת,
To adhere means
לחיות כאחד.
to live as one. It's to feel the other without boundaries.
אבל הרצון הזה זה משהו שאם הוא לא
But this
קיים,
desire is something that if it doesn't exist in me,
שיש לי כזה,
it's as if I'm not aware of having such a desire. Meaning I don't feel this desire yet. I'm not there yet. We need to develop it.
מה שסיפרת לי,
Yes, that's why I said that what you told me right now, it was like a certain type of revelation. What?
שיש איזשהו
This point of connection, that there's something. Yes, I'm capable of saying that I'm capable of talking about some desire, and that there's completion between couples, and let's say this point of completion, I can understand. But some kind of connection is,
טוב, אז כנראה שנצטרך עוד לעשות כמה...
then I guess we'll have to do a few more workshops on this. What is called the point of connection?
בני אדם,
Between people, between couples.
בוא נעשה עכשיו.
Let's do it now.
בוא נוליך אותם לזה.
Let's drive them towards
מה
this.
הצעד הראשון?
What's the first step?
הצד הראשון שאנחנו צריכים,
The first step that we need
במסגרת שאנחנו דיברנו,
in the framework of what we spoke of
שלנו ובסדנאות שלנו,
with our studies and our workshops about the integral system, we need now to understand what the system is. What is the connection between people? What is the completion that needs to be between everyone together in all of humanity?
צריכה להיות השלמה כזאת שכל אחד ממש
This needs to be such a completion in which truly each one is included by the other. Each truly sees the other in a transparent way. Each understands the deficiencies of the other. Each completes each other.
מכריע את עצמו ואת העולם כולו לכך.
Means it tips himself and the whole world to the side of merit. This is how we all advance, and we all already exist in that on that path. We're already in this. So how do we walk them towards this? And then not only just between couples, but between everyone. This we know, okay. We have the full picture, but we want to drive them to this place. So therefore, we're talking about a triangle. We want to build a point above them. How do we build it in actuality? You said to picture this good state, this good life. And later you said not to disconnect from this picture. How do you not disconnect? Explain to me. I understand that you gave me a scene of 5, 10, 15 minutes of some kind of description that you basically did in a fantasy. What? You're fantasizing. We're doing it together. Yeah, what are you doing? It's not something that exists between us. It's a fantasy. Wait. No.
פנטזיות כאלה שאי אפשר לקיים.
There's such fantasies that cannot be made, and there's such fantasies that you can reach. Of course, they're just not real. They're not real yet. So we're describing something that can be kept, reached, but it's not there yet. But it's very desirable. This is the first stage. What next?
ועכשיו ממשיכים בזה.
Next, you said, and now we're continuing to live in this, as if you did some kind of magic here. What's this? To fantasize? It's no problem. I followed with you. We arranged the conditions. We had a nice atmosphere, and we're now. How do you not disconnect in this? This I didn't understand. The influence of the environment, our exercises. Give me exercise. You said that there's an environment at home. The environment at home is each on his behalf. So let's say, what are you doing for me now so I won't disconnect? I'm constantly reminding. This is what we're in. We exist with each other. And music, and TV, and everything that influences us reminds us constantly what we're dealing with.
הזמנת פעם בחיים על ה...
Did you ever get angry at your partner at some point in life? Yeah. So let's say we did this thing and all of a sudden she got you mad.
אתה עכשיו
What do you do?
במסלול הזה של...
You're now on this path of living
אתה רוצה
on this
למצוא
fantasy.
שהיא תהיה החיים שלך.
You want to draw this fantasy so it'll be your life. You enter the kitchen or something, to the living room, something got you really mad. Now what happens?
אתה עושה עבירה ואחר כך חוזר.
You do a transgression and then
עושה עבירה,
repent.
היינו מתעצבים כאחד האדם.
אתה לא יכול להחזיק את עצמך, כן?
You do the transaction because you're human. What's the repent? It's coming back to that state. Repent is to come back to that state that was there before, and you apologize.
אתה
And within you,
מתקן,
you try to correct this attribute with which you transgressed anger or nerves. How do you correct your nerves? By revealing it to yourself and try to
זה
improve.
שאתה מבין שמשהו מזיק לנקודת
The fact that you understand that something is harming for the point of connection, does it help you to correct it? Yes, of course. If it's harming me.
לי להבין שאם אני
So it's important for me to understand that if I'm doing an action now and it's harmful
עושה משהו
to the point of connection, that I'm doing something against myself, this is what I need to understand, and then it helps me to change it.
כן, לפנטזיה.
You want to come to a good life, right? We want to come to this fantasy, right? Yeah. So that's it. So try and try again and again and again and again. And with the environment and the media and everything, they need to strengthen this, and then we will reach a normal life.
בשלב הזה כדאי פשוט קצת
I think that in this state,
אחרי
we should just exercise this a little bit. And after we exercise this a little bit and we go through this, all these processes of fantasy and try to live in it, and the breakouts and all these things, then there'll be a little bit more meat, and we'll know what to work with it, and we'll continue to develop this in our next discussion. So let's end this here. Thank you, Rav Eitman. Thank you, Nitza, and thank you too for being with us. Exercise, and we'll meet here, and we'll continue onwards. Until then, have a great day.